Hello, it's Phil at digitaldjtips.com. Today, the DJ Control Instinct from Hercules. This controller is beginner, consumer, small, light, cheap. It is about 80 euros, so that's about $100 I would imagine by the time it gets its United States discount. The controller itself is the size of a paperback book. It's made of plastic, although it's got quite a nice texture on the mixer section. It's glossy on these sections. Two tiny noisy jog wheels, and as you can see, very few controls. There's 6 knobs, 3 faders, a couple of paddles, which we'll get onto for the pitch controls, and just one lead. So in the box there's no extra leads. There's one lead that's attached on the back, which is just a USB, which plugs into your computer. Also in the box is a little instruction book. There's a PDF of that as well, and a CD so you can install the software. The software that comes with this is called DJUCED, which is not one of the big brands at all. In fact, I've only ever seen it on one other controller, which is another Hercules controller, the Air. DJUCED comes on that CD along with the Hercules drivers. So you first have to install the drivers and then you install the software. And it's not clear in the instructions that that's what you have to do. So if you've reached this video because you're struggling, then go and do that. Just click in the folder that says software and install from there. Once you're up and running though, it's easy to get headphones to work. The headphones plug in the front here, and also the speakers to work, which plug in the back here. There's RCAs and a little kind of computer speaker TRS socket there. They just work out of the box, which is nice because even some software that really should know better takes a bit of configuring to work like that. And one of the questions we get asked a lot here at Digital DJ Tips is, nothing's coming out my headphones, what am I doing wrong? With this, it'll just work, or at least it did for me. So for your really pretty small outlay, what do you get? Well, it's quite limited control wise. There are about 30-35 buttons on it, and as I said earlier, there's only 6 knobs, so really your controls are limited. But for basic DJ, it's got pretty much everything you need right here on the surface. The software that comes with it is good. It's not as good as the big boys, but here's the big bonus. The software that comes with this works out of the box fully. It is the full version of their software. There's no things disabled in it. There's nothing that you can improve on by spending a bit more money. The only limitation is that this thing has to be plugged into your computer for the software to work. There's nothing wrong with that. To me, that's a better arrangement than having software that's LE or light, which it's okay if you understand that's what you're buying, but the trouble is a lot of beginners don't understand that. You buy a DJ controller, you expect it to do what you are expecting it to do, which is allow you to DJ, and the software in the box quite often allows you to DJ, but then you suddenly realize there's stuff you really want to do, like record, or the instructions talk about features that then it says in brackets you must buy the full software, and you think, I wish I'd known that before I bought it. I could have factored it into the price. The fact is, with this, it's already factored in. For your really pretty small outlay, you're getting everything that it says on the box, and I like that. The software though is, as I was saying before that little outburst, the software is good, but it's not as good as those big boys. It's hard to write big software, and Tractor and Virtual DJ and Serato. Their software, when you have the full version, is very mature, and it does do everything well, despite each individual program having its own weaknesses and strengths. They're all good programs. Whereas this one, there are a few things that are a little bit strange about it, but actually, overall, it's a good attempt, and it's got some nice features. For instance, the features that let you get stuff in sync on the screen are quite nice. And I didn't have any real problems with the software. I reviewed it for the Hercules DJ Air a little while ago, and it's improved a little bit since then, this latest version. For learning to DJ on, if you want to learn to DJ, you've got $100 or 80 euros knocking around, and you're looking around for something cheap to learn on, this is pretty good. It has got just about everything you need. There's only 1 or 2 things I wish were on the unit that it hasn't got. For instance, there's no gain control. You normally have a gain control, which is kind of like a pre-volume volume, and it just lets you get the levels of each track right in relationship to each other, so that when you bring a new track into the mix, it's not suddenly too loud or too quiet. That control exists, but only on the software, so you need to get your mouse and click it and drag it. It would be nice to have it on here, especially because there's no auto gain. Some software will automatically kind of listen to the tune and say, okay, it's a bit quiet, and make it louder for you, so you don't really need that control. But this doesn't have either, so I wasn't very happy with that. And also, these little paddles for adjusting the pitch, which is kind of like a manual version of the speed control. If you hit sync, it will make that deck the same speed as that deck, so you don't need this. But DJing's kind of sometimes about a bit more than just pressing a button and letting the computer do it. For whatever reason, you may want to do it manually. And these are a little bit weird. To start with, they're either on or off, so there's no speed involved. There's no kind of like quickly or slowly or finely or coarsely, it's just on or off. But secondly, it repeats like a key on your keyboard. So say you press down a letter in your word processor program, it'll print it once on screen, won't it? And it'll wait a bit and then it'll start repeating it. Well, this is the same. So you press it, it moves a bit, stops, and then moves kind of continuously. Just a bit weird. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a little bit weird. The other thing I found weird was that the jog wheels, when you press them down and move like this with the vinyl mode on, they scratch. So you get the proper scratch sound, sounds pretty good. But if you throw it back, you know, for the typical DJ vinyl slow, as soon as your hand comes off it, it stops scratching, so you can't do those spin backs. It's only a little thing, but if you want to use this for scratching, who wants to scratch on a jog wheel that big anyway? But if you want to use this for scratching, it's not going to be for you. Overall, I really liked it. I have a DJ course, How to Digital DJ Fast, and that course assumes you don't know anything and teaches you to play a gig, teaches you to play your first gig. And at the beginning of that course, we talk about DJ controllers, we talk about what to go and buy. If you bought this controller in order to take that course, in order to go from beginner to playing your first gig, you could do it. You could easily do it. This controller is good enough, and it's a very small outlay. So for that reason alone, I like it. Once you've done that, once you've played that first gig, you're going to probably start seeing things that you wish were different, and you're going to probably wish there were more controls on here, and you're probably going to be starting to think about buying a better controller. And at that point, you're probably also going to think about different software. But to get to that point, I can't think of a cheaper way right now. It's got everything, it's €80, it's $100, you can't really complain at that price point. And the very first controller I ever reviewed was by Hercules. It was kind of 8-9 years ago, probably 2004. And that controller was about the same size as this, and it's come on in leaps and bounds in that time. It really has. That one was basically unusable because these didn't work properly, and you kept knocking the wrong thing when you tried to use it. It didn't have a sound card built in, so there's no way of using your headphones without buying extra gear and so on. You know, it's come on in leaps and bounds since then. Now, for €80 or $100, you can learn to DJ and you can play your first party. So there it is, the Hercules DJ Control Instinct. It's limited, but it's got what it takes, and it doesn't cost very much. If you want to learn to DJ and you're not sure if it's for you, you're going to waste as little money as possible by going for something like this. Thanks for watching, and the full review is on digitaldjtips.com/DJInstinct.